have to look into it.
We had Zach on testing it earlier.
Okay, so this is our microphone.
My expertise.
Somewhere over here.
Okay.
Absolutely. But as long as people speak up and don't talk to us,
We just said we weren't clear from the family years person.
you know,
So I don't know if there's things or.
They very well may be a small enough facility that they're not gonna have much of an impact.
I think we get the consensus.
Yeah, Jennifer, can you hear us okay? Just give us a thumbs up or no?
Oh,
Okay,
hey,
Faye's
thank you.
giving us a
All
thumbs
right,
up.
Jennifer, you're in the minority.
All right, you're muted too, but, okay, well, I think we are live.
Yes.
So I'll go ahead and call our meeting of the Waynesboro Advocacy Committee to order. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're surviving the hot weather. I've had an opportunity to travel since our last meeting, so I've been back and forth across the country, and it's hot everywhere. Some places actually it's not so hot anymore. We left Yellowstone. I think they got some snow and hail. So, I don't have a lot to report in my welcome, other than we do have 2 new board members that have been appointed to the Board of Trustees for the museum, and I'm very excited about that. And I'm hoping, I know Joe invited them, I'm hoping they might be able to join us at least briefly. Oh, Christine is here. So Christine May and John Almerode are both newly appointed as of maybe a week or 10 days ago.
Just found out yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the announcement come from the governor's office, and very excited that a couple of my colleagues from JMU, Joe's pointed out that JMU has taken over this board. I don't know if that's true, but we're happy to have local representatives and folks that are engaged with the process of trying to bring a branch campus of the museum to Waynesboro, and excited about that potential. So our first, well, let me, I think John Almerode was going to join us, and when he does, I'll give both he and Christine a few minutes just to share some introductions, but I think we'll wait and hope John joins us. And we'll start with our first business item, which is approval of the minutes from our May meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes from May?
We should drop the E from my name and
Oh, okay. Correct the spelling for Ann Peltier's name, no E in her first name. Any other corrections? I will take a motion to approve them as corrected then.
So moved.
Thank you, Rick. Need a second?
I wasn't here.
I Dick, okay, Dick seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Okay, moving forward to our community connections section of our agenda. Got a number of things going on. Certainly want to hear about the fact that they've now approved the state budget and where we stand with that. And then we'll move on from there. So I don't know if Jonathan's going to help us with the budget.
Yeah, so budget got passed just in the nick of time, which was fantastic. As far as the projects go, we're in line still. There's several projects that you'll see that did receive funding. A lot of those are colleges and universities that have revenues that back those projects. So it's either a large match or they're pretty much getting permission to use their funding to go forward with the project. There were bond funds issued. So Virginia Public Bond Authority issues large bond. It was $2 billion this time. A lot of that is going to deferred maintenance and projects that were deferred maintenance that are in the works already. So we're cleaning up some more projects from the past administration to this administration. And then moving forward, it feels like it never ends. We had instructions yesterday on our next submittal. So it is earlier this year. It's July 30th, which surprised me. It's been early and earlier. It used to be October when it first started. So now July 30th, we'll have to get our requests into the governor's office to get into the governor's budget, which will come out in December. So yeah, lots of moving parts, lots of moving pieces to that. It's the same parameters as before. The priorities go. So court mandated projects, so prison systems or other governmental mandated projects, certain roads, certain facilities are they're tied to the federal government funding, and those have first priority, so court issued or federal government priorities, and then our second, the second level of priority, so to speak, would be those things that are kind of already in the works. So that's where we are. So we kind of fall into that. Projects that have completed working drawings, completed detailed design, getting ready to move into working drawings. It's right there in the mix. So the same last year too. But I think, as you guys recall 4 years ago, all construction was paused. So when I say we're in line, there are agencies out there that are at the same point we were at now, having completed detailed design work that didn't get to start their project 4 years ago. So, and there is funding going around, and we are every single marker in the system in the Department of Planning and Budget, Department of Accounts, Department of Engineering and Building. It's all active. So the project is listed as active on all fronts. So we're in the mix. They, according to our budget analysts, they discuss this every time. So she does try to push for us, which I'm grateful for.
So I've got a question about the submission. So this is a midterm
Yes.
budget. So whatever the governor submits is an amendment.
Correct.
And is there any discussion about projects in the midterm? Mid-year or mid-session or midterm, I guess.
You don't see a lot of them because this isn't when they issue the bonds. So the big, the Virginia Building Bond Authority, they do it every 2 years. So they do the big $2 billion project, but that doesn't mean that some projects have finished and completed, and then funding can be, set aside going forward. And then if the governor says do it, they do it. So if we can find favor and get our project in, and you're talking $36 million out of $2 billion.
Yeah, it's peanuts.
So when would the bond issue occur on the 2-year cycle?
So we've already gotten the bonds out there, right? So,
Okay.
But then they'll recycle halfway through. They'll reissue the same debt they already have. So it's just a cyclical thing.
And that money's been committed on.
The first round 2 years ago has been committed,
Yeah.
and then they're finishing that up, and then you have to have the other bond issuance to service the current debt. You're just talking about servicing debt over and over again.
So what was the, I never really saw an update from when the Secretary's office came to visit. What can you tell us about that?
Okay, sorry, I thought I put something out.
I
But
didn't
yeah,
get it unless everybody, I don't know if everybody else.
I don't know. Can everybody hear us online? Secretary visited the museum. Yes, and Joe's going to tell us a little bit about that.
yeah, well, that wasn't the secretary, it was his
Oh.
senior advisor, Dr. Maxlow. So when I first met her, when Jonathan and I met her with a couple other staffers, Ryan as well, she was already familiar with the project, so that was a good sign. She then maybe some weeks later came and visited, spent a couple of hours with us. Greg Hitchen was in on that meeting as well. So we not just pitched the museum and its budget needs and so forth, but also we were able to pitch V&H Waynesboro fairly well. I may as well bring up some of these points, which I was saving for another part of the agenda, but it fits in here. There were a few things that Dr. Maxlow brought up. She said if we could kind of parallel with, it would help with pushing the governor's agenda forward. And so I'll just walk through a couple of these. These were part of an email that I sent out to WAC a month ago, something along those lines. The one is STEM career pathways. We've always done a great job talking about this. Len has given full presentations on this, and that is something we talked with Dr. Maxlow about. Greg very much underscored that during our small group discussion with her at the museum and so forth. So I think that is a no-brainer. Tie it to internships, homeschooling, field trips. How can we quantify how effective we are? How will an activated V&H Waynesboro increase pathway opportunities? So these are some things that can help with any kind of pitch going forward. A second thing was English second language opportunities, particularly as it relates to math, science, and engineering, to help Virginia meet certain national standards. So that's something we do as best we can, giving our staff size at VMNH. And the question that becomes, should we start to promote English second language opportunities with our promotion of VMH Waynesboro, and how do we do it? How do we go about that? All right, so that's the second thing. And then the last thing that's less relevant to VMH Waynesboro, but I think it gives us an opportunity to think how we do business. Our Cultural Heritage Monitoring Lab and its work with cultural resources in relation to natural disasters and armed conflict piqued our interest from the standpoint of how can it contribute to something like Virginia's Department of Emergency Management, right? They use the same kind of technologies to detect things such as explosions, but maybe more commonly things like wildfires and flooding, right? So just keep that in mind. If there are other facets of what our scientists or our educators do that we can tie into other Virginia departments and help them meet mission, that's always a positive. So those were some of the things that came about. Greg, do you have anything that you would like to add that maybe we learned from Dr. Maxlow during her visit a couple of weeks ago to VMNA?
I don't think I have anything to add. I mean, she was definitely familiar with the project. I think she was enthralled with all the different things that you're doing, not related to the Waynesboro, but just as an educator, really into all the things you're doing, educational. And like I said, like you said, she was familiar with the project, and I think we just helped perhaps give her some more talking points as she talks about it in their secretariat.
Okay, and related to that, on the drive up, received an email from Dr. Maxlow. She would like to do a touch base with VMNH. So the internal team of VMNH has all been alerted. And we also have communicated with our board chair to give her sort of the courtesy of coming up with a strategy. What we want to do is keep the group small, but we want to have some key people, and I'd like to have a couple of board members involved in that. It's all going to be by Zoom. At least that was her recommendation. So more to come. We haven't heard back from Melanie yet. This was just a couple hours ago that this came through. Yes, exactly. So we'll let you know where that's going to go, but clearly VMNH Waynesboro will be a priority talking point during that touch base. But I would also like an opportunity for them to get to interact with board members with our meeting up in Richmond and then her visit to VMNH. We haven't had that board interaction yet.
Okay, two points. Just one piece of information. Mary's been working to recruit volunteers in the Latino community. She's got a couple people she's talked with. Fortunately, they're kind of laying low right now. I just think, but she has been, connecting with that community. And then the other thing is, what's the message do we want that we should be sending people when they come through the trailer asking how can they support this? Is there a message we should be, presenting them with so that they can advocate? Because pretty much 90% of the people, when you show them that QR code, get it right online, and they advocate for it with the Secretary of Education. What do we want to say? I just tell them, please fund this project. But is there something that we should maybe be pushing to get it in this session, or this amendment, or whatever? I mean,
I think the easiest thing is going to be the STEM pathways. Mention that, and I think use that. I'm using her language, right? So we've all often talked about STEM careers and how tech is going to be driving the way that people engage with their jobs and so forth. But she used specifically STEM career pathways and internships, homeschooling, field trips by schools visiting, and so forth. These are things that she had brought up, and that we should talk about in a holistic view, which is not exaggerating. It is what we do. It's how we do business. We reach out to all of these audiences.
When I heard English as a second language as a focal point, it made me think of a program that's already active here in Waynesboro, the Promotores de Salud program, which is to advocate for health around the mercury contamination in the South River in the Hispanic community. And that's funded through an agreement with JMU. And so we actually have staff at JMU that are in our health department who are actively seeking opportunities to engage with the Hispanic community here. And I think if we could connect this project to them and maybe say that this project would further support that initiative, that might be a way to kind of speak to what Dr. Maxlow is asking us to consider.
For various technical reasons, Zach, who's busy with us right now, is coming back to work on a technical issue with the trailer. I'm sure between now and then, we can come up with a handout with language that the volunteers can pass out. You know, it's not just the language, it would be funding. What do we want to say? We should be using that phrase STEM career pathways. And we can come up with some phrasing surrounding English second language, human health as it pertains to the South River and its historic legacy mercury issue and so forth. But if in the meantime, anybody comes up with something that they think would be very appropriate, not just from a persuasion standpoint, but from the standpoint of pushing the secretary's and or the governor's agenda forward, I think we should do that. And we're going to be open. Are we going to be open Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, so this can be what we
Some of
give
the
out.
weather's corroborating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but let's go to the assumption we can provide. Zach can bring up handouts, but that said, it doesn't mean we can't change it as we come up with.
So that would be with the QR code to the secretary's office,
We can have the QR code, and then we can have
and then add Dan's note.
The QR code, when I went, does not take me directly to the Secretary of Education. It takes me to the governor's office. And then there are a list of places I have to check. And there is no place for other, and the museum is not mentioned. So anybody who's not familiar with it, has to be with education, is not going to be able to use that successfully. So we need to either note on the brochure that you have to click on education to get your message through, or find another way.
You might want to just take it through each step.
Yeah,
I can't
just
imagine,
add a keyword or
I
whatever.
can't imagine that.
There's not a direct.
Well, that we should have a direct link.
Well, I tried a couple weeks ago. That doesn't mean it hadn't changed, but the day I tried,
I'm sure it has not.
If we want a Spanish translation of that handout, I can probably get that
That would
done.
be good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
There's a lot of,
front and back, you know, English and
Yeah.
Spanish one.
there's a good number of Spanish people that come through.
Yeah.
Most of them are speaking English, but some bring their
Kids.
parents or whatever. The kids speak English,
Yeah.
but the parents and some of the grandparents don't.
All right, any other questions about the budget or advocacy issues? I'm gonna move us forward then to the trailer and updates on the trailer and a wrap up of our recent participation in the Street Arts Festival, volunteer coverage. I know that Mary's been putting together monthly reports about the
Yeah,
number of
she-
volunteers and so forth.
She sends Joe an update once a month with, visitation. She, the count, the clickers,
Yeah,
counts, the counts of people coming through, all that's, basic bullet point kind of thing, just to keep them informed.
yeah.
Yeah, the Street Arts Festival, I thought I had the number here.
It was like, so the River Fest was like 700.
Yeah.
Street Arts was a couple hundred.
Right.
Like 300, I think, something like that.
But that's still good because Street Arts is downtown versus
Oh, it was great.
Riverfest
Yeah.
is the preserve.
No, it was, and it was, 2 days. It was over 2 days. I want to say it was 300 or 400 people. It was about half of what the River Fest was. Of course, River Fest was dominated by children and their parents. But the cool thing about River Fest, and even for the Streets Art thing, but mostly River Fest was, they had a lot of people from Hampton Roads, that area. And they were clicking on the secretary thing.
Okay.
I kept telling them, I said, it's really important that you guys make this note because it shows that we've got to reach beyond just Waynesboro. This isn't just a Waynesboro thing. You guys want to see it happen.
Not only that, the Secretary of Education, I think, is from Hampton Roads, or at least has some
Yes.
experience in
Yeah, that's
Hampton
even
Roads, right?
That is true.
Good.
Yeah, there's a contact us form for the Secretary of Education on their website, so we can adjust it to go straight to that.
Yeah, or because people have to know that they're in the education venue or they're.
I understood it. Yeah, I get you.
Anything else about the trailer, Joe?
We We added some components today, did a little bit of technical fixes on things. It is a 20-year-old trailer. It's going to require periodic work, and so we've got a little, like I said before, we got a little technical issue over there. Zach's coming back to work on that. But it's just part of doing business with a used facility. So, but so far so good. So
I think I should mention that we've got to be careful. There's potential liability issues there. And when we're drilling holes in the wall, when volunteers are drilling holes in the wall, if somebody hits an electrical cord or something or pokes through the end, you're in trouble. The state's going to get.
What volunteers drilling holes?
Well, one of the volunteers was putting the posters back up and used screws, drilled a screw into the wall to post it up there.
Okay. All right. I'll talk with you.
I mean, kudos for the initiative, but we got to remember, this is a state agency, and there's potential liability issues. And if anybody gets hurt or anything happens, this is a great target to sue. So I just wanted to mention.
Okay, thank you.
But you did bring up shirts.
Yeah, we have shirts and name tags. Do we bring anything else up, Jonathan?
Touch table. That's cool.
Yeah, we're off the touch table
Yeah, that was popular.
and labels and so forth. So yeah.
How about the roof? Leaky roof?
We made our best effort and we made a difference, right? But I was not ready to dump a bucket of water on it. So it's
Well,
supposed
you
to
might
rain.
get one in about an hour or so.
Yeah, Zach is coming up tomorrow, and I'm going to have him take a look at the inside to see what's done. But I think what it's going to take, to be blunt with you, it's going to take a crew of guys, which we can handle. But by ourselves this morning, we weren't going to do more than we did. But it would take a crew of guys to get up there to remove the steps, remove the braces, get it leveled the way you want, replace everything. And do that
But you
properly.
think that's the issue? It's the slide out?
The slide out should be
Okay.
downhill towards Arch Avenue, so any precipitation runs off. But when they set it up, and I put a level on it, when I put a level on it this morning, as we suspected, it was perfectly level. In fact, it was actually tilted a little bit towards the South River, right? So that means any water that gets up there runs to the sweep for the bump out, and some of it's going to seep under just because of bad luck. So we made an adjustment as best we could, but we think it's going to take improve us and our colleagues to set it right. So want a job done right, you do it yourself.
Yeah. Incidentally, the folks that hauled the Virginia 250 trailer, we came in one morning. He was inspecting this trailer. And so I walked over to him and he said, "Yeah, I used to haul this thing around." He worked for the Museum of Fine Arts.
He did.
Yeah, he was all excited to see it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He moved over to the Deputy Commission.
Yeah, I hauled this. He was telling me all.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah. It's,
Joe,
Yes.
I think I could get access on Thursday afternoon to
The trailer?
power.
Oh yeah. Again, I'll write down the key code
Good.
for you, and yeah, that'd be great.
All right. I'm scheduling with the electrician now, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
um,
The trailer should be unoccupied on Thursday, so
okay,
you can have,
just any time would be fine.
yeah.
so is the plan to connect our power?
Dick has offered to try to draw us up a roadmap of how to get there, because I think everybody,
That would be awesome.
we all admit we're guessing, because I've never done it before, right?
Yeah,
And-
don't look at me.
I know, right? And when we talk to people, we just don't get a conclusive step A, B, C,
Okay.
So that's been
Well, it'd be great if you could get that done.
Yeah,
part of this load as
I've got a good contact with an industrial electrician here in Waynesboro.
Yeah, we had to go to the other trailers to get cooled down,
a.
which was fine.
There's a fan in there.
Yeah, that thing, it sucks that battery down in 30 minutes.
The fan?
We're consuming 500 megawatts or 4 kilowatts. When you've got the lights, the VCR, the LCD screen and the computer, you put the fan on it, it's 1400. And on a good sunny day at 12 o'clock noon, you're generating about 200. So we're consuming more than we use. Now, on a day like this where it's 100%, you got, it only consumes about 50% of it for a 4-hour period. And I would have thought when you added the second panel, it would have doubled it, but it didn't.
So that was another thing.
Uh,
So it was just a small thing, but the way we've got the panels secured up there is by security wires that are padlocked, right? So if a wind blows, they can conceivably shift a little bit. And I think they did, because when the fellows ran the second wire up, there was no slack. And I think when the panel shift, the wire was laying loose this morning. So we were able to re-secure everything, add a little more slack, reconnected. And so now we should have 2 functional panels.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes
Joe doesn't
sense.
have fingerprints anymore from the
It's
metal.
all right.
Melted them all.
That's probably breaking into all your houses looking for new donations.
That's all right. Yeah. All right, I think that's it for the trailer, unless there's any questions. I think it's a great amenity to have in the community. I think it still keeps us in front of folks. And like Len says, people are responding well to it. So
It is absolutely the best and most productive outreach effort we've done in this project since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we were getting coverage and people know about it.
yeah, that's great. And Mary even mentioned that not only are people coming to the farmer's market, but people are actually identifying this as a
They're
destination
coming straight
to come to the trailer rather than just to the farmer's market. So that's pretty cool.
This Saturday at Farmers Market, it's town day, city day. So the different city departments will be set up at Farmers Market. So I'll have a table set up. If you have a flyer or something you want me to have at our table to help push people over to the trailer, I'm happy to do that.
We'll see that same flyer.
I'll ask Mary to bring some of those flyers. over.
Yeah.
I'll be
I'll let her
8:30 to
know.
1.
All right,
I'll be
she'll be there by
on the
9,
market all day, so I'll pop over.
Okay, that'd be great.
That's great. All right, the last thing on community connections is our events, and we're gearing up for another fall lecture series at the Wayne Theater with our partnership with the South River Watershed Coalition and the Wayne. I know that we have scheduled a September talk. It's on quail habitat and conservation. Katie McVicker is coming to talk.
I saw a rough grouse up at Skyline Drive about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Tell Irby,
Yeah.
but don't let him know where it is.
Location is
Safe road.
And I don't remember what's else on our lecture series at this point. That's
I don't-
already been scheduled, but
I don't think anything's been scheduled, but we do have, I think, 4 or 5 people who have agreed to give lectures. So we just need those calendars to settle down.
yeah, and we have the dates reserved.
Yes.
One question that did come up is whether or not we are maintaining our library of previous talks
Yes.
on the museum YouTube site.
So as long as the Wayne Theater remembers to keep it, which they do
Yeah.
pretty much consistently, it's all on the CCR YouTube channel.
Okay,
And they're there forever.
so the CCR YouTube channel is still active.
They got them, it's still active. In fact, I just sent the link to Jenna for the
Crystal Jones talk. Yeah, she had a question about how to access.
So they're all on there.
Okay.
They're all I mean, they're technically archived, but they're all available.
Right. So, and I haven't checked recently, but Zach has been good about making sure we have our seasonal folders. So each season having our 7 talks in there. So you can always go back and look at those historic talks, and we've got some really good ones. So I'm happy that we're keeping this going. Any questions about the fall lecture series? As usual, we're always looking for suggestions if anybody has one. Was Steve Powers? Steve Powers was invited to talk, wasn't he? At one of I think, isn't that right, Steve? Were you invited to talk?
I kind of remember that.
Let's see whether we get that to happen. We'd love to have you.
I'd be happy to do it.
Okay. All right. Any other, are there any recommendations among the group gathered here for additional speakers? If we don't have one, or you come up with one in the meantime, just text it to Joe. Christine.
Hey, Tom. I'm not sure who's already been invited, but I know that the research that Tobias Gherkin at JMU's been doing with flash droughts has been getting a lot of press recently, and it might be somebody who would be of interest locally to speak about droughts in the area.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I did see the coverage recently of his research. That's a great idea. So Tobias Gerken.
Yeah, got it down.
And Christine, while you're here, I guess, I'm not sure whether John's going to be able to join us, but if you could just do a brief introduction. I think many of us already know you, but welcome
Well,
back.
thank you. Yes, it's good to see so many familiar faces, and I look forward to meeting those of you that I haven't met yet. But I'm Christine May, and I'm a professor in the Department of Biology at JMU. I'm a freshwater ecologist, and I've been active on the South River for about 15 years, active with the museum for about 10 years, and I'm really excited to serve on the board. And I live here in Augusta County.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you. There's a couple of other suggestions coming in on the chat, so we'll try to capture those as well.
I think those are actually.
Oh, those are actually
Yeah.
scheduled ones. I gotcha.
These are the dates and
Okay.
the few that we've already got commitments for.
Okay.
So we've got a couple to fill in, but again, we've got some folks who've verbally committed to helping out.
Yeah. So Steve, look at October, November, or February if those fit, or April if those fit in your schedule.
Right at first.
Pretty fun right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll follow up offline.
Sounds
Last
good.
thing about events is the Fall Foliage Festival's coming up. I guess we're gonna be represented there as we have in the past. Joe, do you have anything to add?
No, it's going to be business as usual. It's a big opportunity for us to connect with people who come from all over to join in that festival. So yeah, we're working with the city on that one.
Any events that we should be aware of that will bring to our attention? All right, then I guess we're down to open discussion. Are there any topics that people wanted to bring?
I got one thing I meant
Yeah.
to bring up while we were talking about STEM and ESL and so forth. Rick, I'm sorry, I forgot. I printed out your email and forgot to bring it up. But you had recommended that there's a person, Rosemary Wagner, who might be able to help with the ESL goal.
I would think,
Okay.
you know, she's done all of the programs, retired educator. I would think that she would be able to find somebody to do that portion.
Yeah.
And coordinate with her when she goes out on the lecture series.
I'll see when I'm back in upcoming weeks. I'll see if I can make connection with her, and maybe we can have a cup of coffee or something, and I'll pick her brain to see if she can think of an angle that she would be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And you work with Elsa Kaiser with this foundation? You know, on the board. Do you know her?
Yeah.
Yeah, she used to do ESL in Augusta County.
Oh, did she?
Tons of them, tons of.
Okay.
expertise if you want to talk.
All right.
She's
No, I'm too sorry.
amazing. She's amazing.
What was her name?
Elsa Kaiser,
Elsa Kaiser.
yeah, you want to talk to her. And we also might want to touch base with Embrace, the community center in Waynesboro. 'Cause a majority of their clients that come for the clinic and all are Hispanic.
And the promotores work with them quite closely, and they've found, like Len was mentioning, the hesitancy for that community to be out. One place that they feel safe is in Embrace.
Yeah.
So that's a place to go and visit with them.
I've been dropping your flyers off there a
Okay,
week
great.
ahead, but they're all in English, and I keep thinking I should ask you to do this in Spanish, at least a couple
Yeah.
that I could leave over there.
Well,
Yeah.
we have, I mean, through the South River Watershed Coalition, we have a great connection with promotores, and they've always offered to do Spanish translation for us. So if there's something we need translated,
Okay,
I
well,
can get it to Renato.
when Jenna takes all those flyers out,
Yeah.
I pick a couple of them when it goes there.
Yeah.
Probably could write like a digital version of that if we needed to. I think we can just email a digital version.
Yeah, if you do that, I can
That way-
forward it on to
Yeah.
Renato, and he translates quickly.
Yep.
And he's really good, so. Cool. And really willing. Any other topics for open discussion? Did you want to bring up a suggestion? I saw an email.
Yeah, you mean about Kim Earhart?
Yes.
I would love to see her get active in this committee, whether it's now or whether she's, 6 months or a year or whenever we get some funding.
Yeah.
I think she would be a key person.
For fundraising standpoint?
He's been a great partner with us already when they had their
Yeah,
event.
so
He invited us to be there.
Let's just recruit her into our,
But that would be fun.
yeah. And she can start joining these meetings in the meantime, just to get up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to build that committee out. So,
I think I have contact from her. I'd be happy to ask.
Yeah, when I first started soliciting for you all, I went there and, you know, you get 9 no's for every yes, and I asked and whipped out the checkbook right then, and, you know, wanted to see it happen. So
and who's Kim Earhart? Where's
she owns,
Oh,
Climbs.
Climbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's
And-
always been a big supporter.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When they had their whatever it was
Yeah, big
75th anniversary thing, they invited us to be there.
Yeah.
So
They've
she's
always
been down to
been-
the museum.
Yeah.
So she's left some ice cream behind.
She always brings ice cream.
That was good.
It's one of the reasons why she's like your best friend. She brings coffee. Yeah, she'd be great.
I think that's a great suggestion. And we are still meeting jointly, the foundation subcommittee with the Waynesboro focus and then our Waynesboro Advocacy Committee. But I don't know if you want to continue that or if you want to have offline meetings or whatever.
Well, no, we'll continue doing this. This is,
Okay.
I think, very important for us, especially the people in that committee, to have the knowledge so that when we really go out there. But we're going to meet after this meeting, Murphy. If you can hang around a little bit, we're going to have a conversation about some things. I made contact with a woman from Charlottesville in the trailer she just rolled off a board over there, and she's like very engaged and, you know, advocacy work in Charlottesville for good causes. And I said, well, I'm going to be contacting you. And she said, you know, she's willing, but I think she could probably help us organize a community group over there. She also mentioned the Rapidan watershed. We wanted to know if we had connected with them. And if we hadn't, we should. And that's why I mentioned it to you. I figured your staff probably did. And then a couple of weeks, I think it was during the street arts thing, the woman from Lexington. Remember, you and I spoke about the 3 or 4 different organizations that she thinks that we should be starting to talk to. Washington Lee being one of them. And by the way, Washington Lee has a very robust, renewable type of degree program now. They're big into this, you know, outside of the law school. So she gave us a couple of places to go talk to. So that's what we're going to talk about afterwards here and start talking. I think now that we're waiting on funding and realistically, you know, I'd love to think that we could get this pulled off this coming year, but we should really be focused on making it happen, or at least within 2 years when the new budget comes out. But in the meantime, we should be friend raising, you know, start building those connections. We've got Waynesboro's pretty, you know, we're not getting the questions of this is going to happen anymore from the local people. Most of them are coming in saying, what's the latest and when do you think it'll happen? But the outside, you know, outside the, you know, Crozet, Albemarle County, Charlottesville, Lexington, a lot of them are still just learning about it. And I think we should be spending time now making those connections. And then there's that UVA connection thing that I'm also going to talk about. I see that as a real opportunity for us. We can connect. We can PR.
Anything else? I did want to bring to your attention, I did get an email recently that Katrina Carlson, Delegate Carlson from Charlottesville is holding an open event on July 15th. And if anybody's interested, I can certainly share the information. It might be an opportunity just to advocate for this project with her. As we've often said, this is a regional project. We want to make sure we're reaching across the mountain as well. So
I've been telling the people from that side, so, you know, you need to call Creek Deeds, you need to call Colson, you know, they need to hear from the people. Sure.
anything else for the good of the order? Our next scheduled meeting is, well, if it's stay with Tuesdays, it's August 4th. I will be traveling. I will not be able to do it then. Certainly, you know, encourage you to meet anyway. And I guess we could potentially hold that virtual.
There's no reason why not, since we had a quorum for this meeting.
So we could explore that. I don't know if I would be able to participate even virtually, but otherwise, look for your email for the next meeting, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, everybody.